After that, something shifts between Aisha and me. It's like she's opened the door and wriggled over to let me into her private little world. I know Lily's hurt because I keep avoiding her. I barely talk to her in math class. I barely talk to her at all, especially since stuff at her house is getting crazy again. But it's fun hanging with Aisha. I feel a little like a spy, sitting with her friends in the cafeteria, listening to them talk about scholarships at Wellesley and the University of Pennsylvania, or about senior year slog. With these guys, that usually means an A minus. A real joke. Guess what? It's a Friday and Kavita is leaning over, hands flat on the Formica table. Last night, my parents told me about my graduation present. I'm going to India to see my grandparents, and they're going to take me to Rajasthan, and we're going to stay in a big palace hotel. Wow, Risa says. Aisha stares down at her hands, her expression suddenly sad. Since we're illegal, we never get to go back to Bangladesh. We talk to our grandparents once a month on a phone card, and their voices sound far away, as if they could fade into the wire. Everyone starts chattering about summer plans. Risa is going to a special music camp for really serious violinists. Rose has some kind of internship at a hospital. It's also senior year normal, even though everyone has the jitters, not knowing where they'll be next year. Nothing like what we wonder. I look over at Aisha, who's nervously palming her hair down. That's when I realize Aisha let me into her life because she's feeling left out of her own. She's known these girls since freshman year. They're like a tribe that's stuck together. They've climbed up all the honors and AP classes together, swapping notes, doing study sessions. It's from them that Aisha figured out how to be the girl she became, how to stay smart, what words to use, how to act in the school halls, especially when the tough girls give her a hard time for being so smart. But now she's not the same as they are. She's falling away into a corner, and she only feels safe with me. Who knows what's really going on? At first, I'm angry, knowing that she's using me. Then I feel bad for her. Aisha's always so worried about what her friends will think. Maybe that's the good thing about not being popular. I don't even know what others think about me. It's easier for me to say what I think since it's not so mixed up with other people's ideas. I'm not afraid of how stupid I sound. I feel especially sorry for Aisha when she chimes in boastfully. Talk about senior year slog. You want to know what I did today? I got a C in American government. They all stare at her, surprised. Are you serious? Kavita asks. Yes. Her voice is tiny, as if she's swallowed it. I can tell from the puzzled looks on their faces Aisha's boast isn't funny. It's just kind of weird, especially among these guys. That night I hear Aisha whispering to herself, scolding. I keep thinking of that night at the police station with Uncle. If I'd said it differently, she sighs. I can't focus on anything anymore. I put a hand on her wrist. It feels clammy and warm. Now I'm really sorry for Aisha. She's starting to wear herself down. The next day she shows up at lunch looking a little odd, like she's worked too hard at her appearance. Her hair has been slicked back into a ponytail, and she's wearing a shirt that's starched and buttoned to her neck, even though it's warm out. Her face seems as if it was coated in a waxy polish, and her eyes are a little too bright. She starts talking about her special interview at Barnard, how it's all going to work out. They wouldn't bother if they weren't thinking of giving me a lot of money, she tells the others. I know it. She says this 5 or 6 times, sounding like a wind-up doll, and Risa and the others keep giving each other funny looks. On the way back from school, Aisha repeats to me, We're going to hear from the lawyer, Nadira, today, or our letter. It's going to be answered. I know it. But when we get to the mailbox, it's empty, and there are no messages on the machine. Aisha becomes obsessed. Every day there's no letter in the mailbox from Homeland Security, no phone call from the lawyer. Every evening that we speak to Ma and hear there's no news there either. Aisha grows more frantic. At night, she goes over her homework again and again. She gets up early to go to school, studying in the empty classrooms. She's like a boxer, jabbing and hitting, trying her old moves. But this time, she's up against something that's so much bigger than her, beyond her power. I wish I could just put a hand to her skin, stop her worrying inside.